All right, hey guys. Today I'm going to talk about something that I come across a lot from new users or people that aren't used to probably drawing that much. CAD users don't come across it so much because it doesn't draw in the third dimension, or typical auto 2D CAD users don't come across it as much. However, this particular problem stems from the original drawing. And what it is that you'll notice I have this crazy little hip here or valley there that I actually shouldn't be there, and you're thinking, why is that there? And if we looked at how it should look, that's how the roof should be, and it should all plane. Now, I'm going to talk about later why this comes about and how to avoid it, so it's worth hanging around for, but I'm going to show you how to diagnose it and how to figure out whether there's a problem. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to delete my roof, and I'm going to go over to styles. If you haven't got styles there on a Windows machine, you would go Windows, default tray, and you can choose on styles. If you're on a Mac, I'm pretty sure it's right click or SketchUp and choose styles, and you'll probably find a little dialog that comes on Windows. You can actually dock it to the side. Now what I'm going to go to is styles here, and what I can do is, if you go up the top here, we have an edit button. I'm going to click on edit, and you have all these different little features here, but the first one is actually the edges or the line, basically. And if you go down to the bottom, sometimes you may need to double check that you've got a secondary here, but if you don't see it, click on the little arrow there. However, I'm going to go to here, and if I go by axes, what it's doing is it's actually highlighting everything that's on the green axis and the red axis and the blue axis, right? And what it's showing me is that this wall here is actually not square. You can see it's not red, and if I turn it off, all the same, you can't tell. However, if I went over here, delete this roof, by axes, all of these walls are on axes, and therefore I won't have a dicky little line like a hip or something like that. Right. You can actually save this scene too, so when you're new to it, you might go, oh, I'd like to come back to this a little bit. To save you having to go to styles and then edit and turn this on and turn it off, you can actually just go up and go view, animation, add scene, and it will remember this here. And if I wanted to turn it off, I just go to my 2D mode there, and it will actually turn it off because it's controlling your styles and your scenes. Okay, how do we come across the problem? How do we solve the problem? How do we actually make sure it doesn't happen? And this is some good workflow practice I'm going to show you. So what I'm going to do is I've just deleted that face that was created by the roof because it was corrupted, it wasn't straight. I'm going to go to my walls, right click, walls, wall operations, and I'm going to select the connected walls. It just saved me going around and pushing shift and deleting all those walls individually. Now I'm going to go to my walls tool, which is I've created keyboard shortcuts, guys. If you haven't created keyboard shortcuts, just Google keyboard shortcuts in PlusSpec. You'll come up with all the list of my keyboard shortcuts. I'll put a link below as well. All right, so I'm going to go to W there, and it's going to create the last wall that I used. And I'm going to just find a spot. Now, it's very difficult for me to trace the cavity here because there's so many snap points. This is a CAD file I'm drawing over. So I'm going to actually start here, but you'll notice I'm drawing from the cavity, and I actually want to draw from the outside of the brick. Right, and I'm going to zoom out, and I'm going to go up to here. Now, because this is a CAD file, there can be lots of little snap points, which means I could be off by 10 mil and I wouldn't know it because it's snapped to a point. So what I normally do is I'll actually go past it, push shift, and then click to where I know to be the right area. Right, and you can see even here it's a little bit hard for me to find the snap point here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get it on my green axis again. I'm going to go right through to here. Well, you can see it's a red axis there, and go shift, hold the shift, click to where I know the wall is. Again, green, you can see that it's green, shift here. Another little difficult one to figure out where it is, so shift, there, again, shift. It just enables you to get it right and take all of the potential errors out of a draw or a trace in this case. Obviously, if you had a Revit model that you were importing, it would be exactly the same thing. I would still use shift and lock it to an axis. You can lock it to an axis up here and then go through to here. I'm actually just going to go straight through here, guys, just because I think you're getting the idea. Shift, shift, Now, if you've got a really clean drawing without so many lines, you probably don't need to go to this extent, but it's only one button to click, so I'm going to go shift again. Now, I actually want to shift to line up with my original wall, so this wall's straight. Now, one other little tip, guys, if you want to put in your junctions as you go, you can go through and just go shift to your internal wall. Oops, I'm going to get on my red, shift. In some cases, also, when you're drawing over a PDF import, you may actually need to go outside of the PDF to find your axes, right? And I won't worry about going through all of those. And drop that there. Right. So what I've done, let's just have a look and see what happens. So I'm going to right click on my wall. I'm going to go roof, create roof from walls. I'm going to go submit. Right. And now I don't have any strange geometry there. It's good practice to use shift as you're drawing around things. Guys, this is a DWG, which means it has snap points. So line, you'll notice that it's actually snapping to these lines. This probably won't happen on a PDF import of an image. And if that's the case, you probably should look at how to import a PDF and how to draw over top of a PDF in PlusSpec, and that will help you get forwards a long way. Anyway, guys, hope it helps. Any questions, ask them below. If you like the video, push like. If you dislike the video, push dislike. And tell us why so that we can improve next time. All right, guys, look forward to seeing you succeed.